Hello, everyone. Diana Rankin here, along with our little Piper back here. We have an esoteric question from one of you today, or questions with there for one of you today, and I thank you. And hello, Juliet. She says hello and happy Friday to everyone. I read those messages for a couple of reasons. I like to interact with those of you who are able to come live, and also the live feed doesn't show up immediately. It takes several hours and sometimes a day or so. So um, we're glad to see Juliet with us today. Thank you. The questions for today are quite esoteric, and those are the questions of general nature. Esoteric. We can even ask political questions if you want, but just remember, you may not like what I have to say. And anyone who disagrees with me, you're allowed. That's fine. This is life. But we do practice kindness on this channel. So we ask you, if you disagree, do so in kindness. That's all. And we will respond back in kindness. I love to get into discussions, not necessarily in writing, but I have friends that we have differences of opinion about life, politics, whatever, and we're able to discuss it politely. We're able to discuss it with differences, but also be kind to one another. That's all I'm asking of my viewers. So thank you. And those of you who do defend me when there's someone unkind who comes on this channel, thank you so much. I so appreciate you, and it's nice to know I'm loved. I deeply appreciate that. SV says, good morning, Diana, and all, with a wave and hearts and blue hearts and red balloons. So thank you. Good to see you. We will also, after we answer our questions, we will get a message from one of my books. It's the Master's Book of Answers by Phillip. And as many of you know, it's just an oracle book. Every page has a different wisdom on it. And it always, as many years as I've been using this book, it still surprises me how many, when we get our answers here, when we get our soul message from Phillip, my spirit guide, it always has to do with what we've just talked about. And I find that's true of my own personal life when I get the message. And I do every day. I open to just any page and get my message. And it always is like, and yeah, that's what I needed to hear today. So I have had questions about what is this book? And it's the Master's Book of Answers by Phillip. It is on my website. It's also on Amazon. You can go to my website and click on books and you'll see all my books. You can just do Amazon and type my name in and some of the books will come up. If this one doesn't come up, just put in Phillip, Diana Rankin and Phillip, or Masters or something like that. But the easiest way is really just to go to my website and you'll find all of my books that are still in print. And you can order, it takes you right either to the publisher or directly to Amazon. I'm not sure which anymore. I think directly to Amazon because I think all the publishers go that way. Anyway, we're going to get started here because we want to get this to you. I want to give you a little explanation up front, very short, as to where these questions came from. As many of you know, I am on Facebook. Many of you are my friends. And this was a post that I put on Facebook. And it's a quotation by Madeline L'Engle, the writer. And it says, why does anyone tell a story? It does indeed have something to do with faith. Faith that the universe has meaning, that our little human lives are not irrelevant, that what we choose or say or do matters cosmically. I think that's a pretty important quotation. So, in response to that quotation, a gentleman wrote, is existence vast? One question, there are four here. If there is there any meaning? 3, is it distributed evenly over the entire vastness? Or is all of the meaning only here and now where humans are? And here's what Phillip has to say. The human mind cannot comprehend the vastness of existence. The human mind cannot comprehend their own vastness, let alone the vastness of the all, and all is capitalized. There is no beginning or end of the energy, and all is energy. Human life, as all life, has the meaning we assign to it. Human life, as all life, has the meaning we assign to it. By this, we mean that each human chose their role in life, how they will play it, and what emotions they want to experience while playing out their role in life. And as we've spoken about before, we choose our parents while we're in spirit world, before we come back into human life, or even before our first human life. We choose our parents, we choose our the lessons we want to learn, we choose the gifts we want to receive, we choose a lot about our own personalities and what we want to experience. And it's a little more broad brush than I may be making it sound. It's like, I always think of it as like you walk into a marina and there are all these different ships and boats, and you get to choose which one you get on. Or if you live in a city, you might look at it as a train station or a subway station or a bus station. But we choose the general, and then what happens specifically plays out in our life. And we're constantly making the choices about that, aren't we? Okay, let's go on. The meaning of life in all dimensions and physical expressions is dependent upon the one receiving and using the provided energy. The distribution of energy varies on the needs and requests of the being. So no, the energy is not distributed evenly because needs of the species are different. For a human to think the meaning of all existence is only here and now, where humans are, is rather short-sighted. It contradicts what we have said about the vastness. The purpose of life is to experience. Sometimes I stumble over Philip's syntax, because his syntax and his humor and the way he uses words and the words he uses are different from the way I write or my own words. So forgive me if I stumble. Philip goes on to say, the purpose of life is to experience the life of the energy of the specific species, whether that species be a speck of dirt, a human, or a species of which humans are unaware. Let us take humans as an example. For most, looking at their current life is the extent of their knowledge. For others, there is some knowledge of what you call past lives. Some may have knowledge of time in spirit world between earth lives. Some may have memories of their original origins on a not yet discovered planet. Some may have knowledge of living as the person they are now, but in other dimensions. So just to break that down a little bit, is each of us have a soul, and that soul has experienced multiple different lives. Some of those are happening simultaneously, just in other dimensions. So, for example, for every major decision we make, we're living the opposite in this other dimension. So, in another dimension, in this dimension, I have no children. I'm divorced, and in another dimension, I'm married and have a couple of children, for example. So I find that interesting. And again, that's something that's not always easy. So what Philip is saying here is that we all have different knowledge of our lives or life. And some of us barely have knowledge of this particular life we're living now. Others have knowledge of multiple lives we've experienced. And some may even have memories of their original origins, which may even be on a planet that's never been discovered, but they chose to come into Earth life to perhaps help us. I think they're called star seeds. I think I think I've heard that term, star seeds. Forgive me if I said that wrong. Others originated here on Earth. So we're just so multidimensional and vast. And as Phillip says, we can't comprehend our own vast existence, let alone the vast existence of everything. Phillip goes on to say, none of any of this knowledge must be forced open if one is to live in harmony with the energy of their current life. Knowledge will come when and if needed. That's a warning. Don't force it. Don't force it. Let it come naturally. The human mind is unable to grasp the fullness of existence. However, humans may glimpse the vastness, and we emphasize glimpse of existence by looking into the night sky, where you see neither the beginning nor the end. You see only the now, which is all that is necessary. Let me repeat that, because I think that's really the answer to all four questions. The human mind is unable to grasp the fullness of existence. However, humans may glimpse the vastness, and we emphasize glimpse of the vastness of existence by looking into the night sky, where you see neither the beginning nor the end. You see only the now, which is all that is necessary. I hope that does answer the question that the writer asked. And if you have questions, you can just put them in the comments below, or you can put them in my Facebook comments, or you can email me, and that's below as well. Rush says, hello, Diana, Piper, and friends. So good to see you, my sister. All right, let's get our message for the week, shall we? There we're going to open to that. Boy, I'm hearing almost equally, so give me a moment here. Left is slightly stronger. So if you heard left, we're in sync. If you heard right, that's a message you need to pay attention to. But this is the universal message for everyone, and it's page 38. You'll love it. If you pour a gallon into a cup, the cup will overflow. If you pour a cup into a gallon, the gallon will still be empty. If you pour a gallon into a cup, the cup will overflow. If you pour a cup into a gallon, the gallon will still be empty. What does this mean? How does this relate to what we've just said? Well, let's say the universe is the gallon and we're the cup, and we pour it. We're poured into this universe. There's no way we know everything that is taking place in that gallon. It's too vast. It's too big. So if you pour a gallon into a cup, the cup will overflow. If you pour a cup into a gallon, the gallon will still be empty. We are the cup, and we overflow. We overflow with magic. We overflow with love if we allow ourselves to. And we can learn, as Phillip says, we can glimpse the existence of the vastness that we can't possibly comprehend by looking into the night sky, where you see neither the beginning nor the end. You see only the now, and that's all that's necessary. If you heard right, page 39, this is a message you need to pay attention to. You can busy yourself either with talking of the world's ills or working to correct them. Oh, that's a big one for all of us this year. You can busy yourself either with talking of the world's ills or working to correct them. There's a lot of political fray out right now. There's a lot of unhappiness. There's a lot of anger. And let's stop the anger. The anger isn't going to get us anywhere. Let's stop the anger. And I sit down with friends who differ with me. I have clients who differ with me, and they know it politically. But we all work toward the good of the world. We all work towards stopping the wars. We all work for life that's better for everyone. Let's do that. Let's stop condemning each other and yelling at each other, and let's work toward finding the common goals, starting with that common ground. And it may be just one little thing that we can find and then expand from there. We have to be able to do that. If not, we stay like this. And what we want to do is both turn like this and maybe just bounce and bounce and bounce and eventually build a world where we're allowed to disagree, but work together for the good of all. The good of all. I love you, my friends. As does, you know who, I don't want to say her name because it'll wake her, but there she is back there, just resting. And I hope you have a day today of joy, of love, of good communication, and also take time to rest. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you. I will see you next week, if not before. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the love that you give to yourself. That does not mean love yourself enough to have boundaries. Loving others doesn't mean we don't speak up. Loving ourselves enough to have boundaries also means we can love the other without fear. I love you. Hold those boundaries. Be there for others. Reach out. You're going to have plenty of opportunities to do that. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for the love you send us as well. Until next time we meet, bye for now.